This is my favorite in the entire series. And it's a sequel that managed to do a lot of improvements to the flaws in the first one. And also gave it a stronger, also felt more confident, and truly showed what the series was really capable of in terms of telling a story and how to make a sequel, and how to make a great young adult franchise. Hunger Games: Catching Fire, directed by Francis Lawrence, written by Simon Beaufoy and Michael Arndt. All these credits, Michael DeBrue, whenever he rewrites scripts. You may know him as the writer of Little Miss Sunshine and Toy Story 3. But anyways, this movie is set a year after, the events of the first Hunger Games, where Katniss and Peeta won the 74th annual Hunger Games, and they are becoming well known. I mean, the fact is, the so-called love story that the media is presenting and so-called manipulating people into believing. But also, President Snow, unfortunately, she gained mass rolls of followers. People are really following her. Whenever people do this symbol, they just get support. I forgot what the symbol means. Comment below if you know what it means. And President Snow is pissed off at this because she's getting a lot of support. There's possibility for he's afraid of another rebellion. So whenever they're televising and just telling other districts the events surrounding Hunger Games, how it affected them, they're kind of being forced and being told what she said, because if she says something that the capital doesn't agree with, there could be a potential of fight. Also, if people who are watching the speeches, like ever do something that they don't think, that they don't agree with, they'll just beat them up. They'll hurt them. They'll abuse them brutally, and sometimes even kill them. So the capital decides to start a new Hunger Games, and to hope to get rid of Katniss, because she's kind of a new symbol for another rebellion. And start the same thing with Hunger Games, with all other victors of previous Hunger Games are still surviving. And as a result, the same thing, Hunger Games starting, but also it's kind of almost like leading into the start of the actual rebellion, which we will finally see, and hopefully will gasp and be amazed by in Mockingjay Part 2 coming out this November. Now, as you guys know, I did enjoy the first Hunger Games, but I do mention there are flaws in that movie that I just couldn't get around from, such as the shaky cam, the action sequences, just ruining it. It was so distracting. Also, it just kind of ruined the thrills. It was just so distracting. Also, Peeta was not that strong of a character, though I thought for what he had, for material that was in there, and for what he had, I thought Josh Hutcherson did fine. And some of the visual effects, like things with monkeys and shit, they just weren't very good. They weren't terrible, but I think they could have been a little better. Other than that, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it presented a very interesting dystopian future, and I liked how it portrayed the media, how it portrayed the games. But also, I thought it was a very promising, very strong start for the franchise. Now, this sequel, I do feel like there could have been some improvements made. And as you guys know, number one problem, and of course number one being the action and cinematography. Now, I'm just going to get to it first. Catching Fire is a major improvement over the first one. How? Well, I felt it was a lot more confident in terms of the style, the filmmaking, the production, and story, the characters, really everything else that I felt like was kind of missing in the first one. What I really liked about the first Hunger Games, just like Catching Fire gives us real characters, but they flesh them. There are a lot that are fleshed out. Peeta is given more of a personality, but he's also given a lot more screen time. And he also does more than he really did in the first film. He does a lot more physical stuff, although he is still kind of a vulnerable mess, which is kind of sad. But still, could have been worse. Yeah, he could have been dead for all we knew. Yeah. Anyways, I do, and also there's real characters. The characters in this movie are real people. The emotion is so genuine and real. But also, I do like how it takes in this darker tone. Usually, this is the case with sequels, getting bigger and darker. But this is very fit. That formula is fitting to this one because, this is where it got more serious. The only fact there could be another rebellion happening. Katniss getting respect on the world, mostly because of her role in the games, just being so drastically different from others, causing riots, and overall causing so much social unrest that there's a possibility of another rebellion again. History repeats itself. But I do have to admit, the action sequences are much better. I mean, not only there's like no real shaky cam in this movie. I mean, there's a lot better action sequences. I mean, sure they have to edit some things out, but overall they're well choreographed. I can tell what's going on. Beautiful still wide takes, and of course some pretty and also overall very tense action sequences. Also, I think that the best thing about this movie was the change in director. Gary Ross I thought was fine, but he did show that he had a few shortcomings. Francis Lawrence is truly confident. I mean, this guy really knows what he's doing behind the camera. He knows how to execute the action sequences, but also he offers up. Also, I think he did a whole lot better in terms of how he creates such an incredibly dark dystopian future. It just worked perfectly. Pan Am. I knew it was called that. I didn't mention that in the first film. Yeah, Pan Am, being part of 12 districts and being ruled by President Snow. Now, it's not the point. It's besides the point. There are some newcomers to the series, such as Sam Claflin. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm going to look it up. You got most original cast back: Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Banks, Woody Harrelson, Donald Sutherland, Stanley Tucci, Liam Hemsworth. I forgot Lenny Kravitz, didn't I? Who was he? Hold on a minute. Cinna. Does that just be familiar for some reason? Oh yeah. Forgot about him in the first film also. Fuck. Besides the point. Phone's going off, don't answer that. It's our home phone we don't use. Anyway, I want to get past the fact that also the characters are much stronger. Even the new characters also are pretty strong as well. I mean, you also Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I thought was pretty good. He's dark. He's very monotone, but also he's a character that you don't really that's a supporter for the games, but also you learn later out that he's also not exactly agreeing with the Capitol. Like he's not exactly really much in agreement with the Capitol. Jenna Malone, who the hell is that? Hold on a minute, Jeffrey Wright. Seriously, I need to start preparing more for this shit or really knowing more about it. But what the hell? Well, what the hell do I know? Claflin, I think it's pronounced. You know, the one who played Finnick. I thought he was pretty good. I mean, he's a character who's also pretty strong, also very vulnerable. Let's see. Who else might? Fuck. Motherfucker. Jenna Malone. Yeah, she's a character that's also over the top and kind of crazy. But overall, she's fitting to... I mean, she is incredibly sane, but also she is pretty clever as a character. Jeffrey Wright as Edie. Yeah, he was also pretty good too. These new characters also have... All these new characters are introduced to the games. They also have pretty good... They have purpose, but also they also have a personality, and they are well thought out characters. Now, this movie, I think, really is split into two halves. The first half is everything that took place after the first games, everything leading into the second, fifth Hunger Games. The second half is the games, and of course the eventual planning, and of course the eventual possibility of the rebellion. Planning of the rebellion. You guys should know this. I mean, this movie came out 2 years ago. Now, the first half. The first half is a little slow, but I thought it still had some good build-up. Well thought, and of course it gave us time to really know a lot more about these characters that weren't given as much personality in the first film, or not really focused on much. You knew more about them, and they were very entertaining, and overall it worked perfectly. Sure, it was pretty damn long and kind of a little draggy, but I thought it picked up after the second half. The first half, sometimes it was entertaining, but also you knew more about these new characters, it was very fitting. And I just liked how they managed to give more depth to these more depth to all these side characters, and just the overall characters in general. It gave them more. It was just more compelling characters, and I like that. I also like how this film explores more of the Capitol. I mean, knowing the behind the scenes in the Capitol, knowing the fact of knowing the fact that President Snow is forcing Jennifer Katniss to say things, especially Peeta also, they're kind of making them say things that they don't want to say because they don't want to cause people to be supportive and cause a rebellion. Also, the fact is, knowing the fact that District 12 is just being raided and people are getting hurt. And actually, it reminds me of the Holocaust. How? Well, it's because, I mean, there's a lot of grisly images there, a lot of people being killed, a lot of people being hurt, all the possessions being thrown out into the street. That does feel like the Holocaust, whether or not you want to believe it. It's very grisly, it's very gritty. This sequel is much darker, and it's a lot more gritty imagery. There's a lot more shocking violence, captured perfectly. I love the cinematography. I mean, you got to really see more going on. And also, it just felt unsettling because you could really tell what was going on. They showed it clearly, even for PG-13. Seriously, it's almost like felt like it's a borderline R-rated movie. Not saying it is, but seriously, holy shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's not very set. It doesn't really sit well with you, especially if you have a weak stomach. Now, it's not incredibly gory or grisly, but it is a little too gritty and maybe a little too intense for some to handle. This movie really has a lot of good building tension, and the tension throughout the action sequences, there's just some great tension throughout. I mean, these people can get hurt. I mean, in fact, Peeta almost died at one point in the games. People do get hurt. This is proof that they're not vulnerable. They're not superheroes. They can die. They can get hurt. Just really anything. It also ratchets the tension, and there's a lot more suspense, and I was left very riveted. Felt more riveted here than the first one. There's a lot of comparisons I can make towards the first Hunger Games and this one. And of course, yes, Catch Fire I believe is superior. Special effects are also better. There's a lot more detail in them, especially with the animals. I mean, they work perfectly. Even with, I thought special effects were better. Well, obviously, I mean, they had a bigger budget, I guess. Let me see about that. Let me see. Yeah, bigger budget. So yeah, they could put more into the effects. Yay. But I also have to admit, the performances are good. Jennifer Lawrence is still great. It's fantastic as Katniss. I mean, she's still a strong female hero, action hero, who is a strong symbol for rebellion in Panem, and overall is a very sympathetic character who doesn't want to kill people. But of course, she goes for us to hurt them. But that's only to get to, hey Scrappy, to keep herself safe. Got a new follower on Twitter. You have a Twitter account. I'm not going to put the link in the description. What the hell is that? Well, it's not a Turbo Nuggets, but it's just some guy named WHD. Whatever. Anyways, also, there's a lot of genuine characters. I mean, you know more about like Prem, Katniss's family, President Snow, a lot more of the background, more of Panem, such as the government, how behind the scenes work. Also, more about the media, glamorizing the games once again. I like how they portray the media. I mean, knowing the fact that they really just glamorize and really focus on these big celebrities and shit. They kind of glamorize it rather than really focus on the truth that they're actually that they may die. And I think that's a really perfect way of how the media kind of relates to our real life, because a lot of people are just going crazy over the fact that over the flaws of certain celebrities. I mean, no one is perfect. I mean, Jesus Christ, calm the hell down. That's just what I mean. I mean, seriously, what is the problem if, like, oh my God, a celebrity got arrested? Who cares? Everyone gets arrested. No one's perfect. Nothing is perfect. God. I just mean that guy. I'm just really angry over that shit. Because one, I don't care. I really don't. Francis Lawrence delivers a lot, not only stronger tension, and of course fleshes out the characters more, but also he's just a lot more focused, and he's almost like barely unrelenting, or like he's unrelenting when it comes to like delivering gritty images and a lot of gritty violence. It's perfect. There's a lot of mature themes, not only survival, but also, I guess, like a dictatorship, I guess, like, I don't know, and maybe, of like genocide or something like that. I don't know about genocide, but maybe like war. I think the main theme is really survival, but there is some good messages. There's some very strong themes. I thought and also, I mean, the action is well done. I already said that. But I do think this movie is a stronger, more confident sequel that really managed to not only give us a good look at the media and of course more behind and explore more of the world of Hunger Games involving, the Capitol. Sorry. But also like know more about the characters, but also know a lot behind like about the glamour about this shit, the media, just a lot of things. A lot more about the history of Hunger Games, such as the past winners, but also like, their skills and all that shit. Just overall, you learn more about the world of the Hunger Games. That's really it. This movie was truly great. I mean, I loved it throughout. I mean, strong themes, fantastic cast, great action sequences, a stronger storytelling, expanding more on the themes and on the world, all the elements of the original film, improving upon many of the flaws in the first one. Proving upon its flaws. I didn't think there were many. And also giving us fleshed out characters, and raw emotion, very shocking violence that left me incredibly tense, but also left me very unsettled and emotional. And of course, delivering more on the ambitious, also really capturing the ambitious scope of the series. The first one did too. This one really manages to really capture more of it. This is undeniably one of my favorite sci-fi movies of the 2010s so far. My favorite is Inception. Second is Gravity, obviously. But this is undeniably still a great one. I'm not sure if this is in the top 3. It might be, but it's still a great movie for what I love, for what I've seen. And I'm really excited for Mockingjay Part 2. We all are. 5 out of 5. I think it's a great movie, even though it did start a little slow in the first half. I thought it really picked up. I thought it gave us some more fleshed out characters. It was a lot better action sequences, a lot of great stuff, and I think it expanded upon many of the things in the original, improved upon so many things, and truly helped us pump us up for the upcoming Rebellion and for a great finale. Anyways, guys, this is my review for Catching Fire. Comment below what did you think about it. What is your favorite Hunger Games movie? How would you compare this to the first one? Are you excited for Mockingjay Part 2? Comment below, subscribe to my channel for more videos.